All right.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Well, first of all, my name is Bernard Dean. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I just want to welcome everyone to our presentation tonight. One thing is good health is something everyone is actually looking for. In fact, it used to be a big term, healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. But there's a new term that's going around that people are beginning to realize that they're going to have to take their health under their own control. And it's called self-care. And there's a lot of natural things that are out there. The very least people need to know is what's out there and what's available. So having good alternatives that don't have a lot of side effects, in some cases, not any side effect, is something people are looking for. Well, tonight, if you have not called your relatives, especially your family, if you have not considered yourself, diabetes is absolutely devastating, not only the United States, but also the world. Let me just read something to you. I thought it was interesting. This is how many people have diabetes right here in the United States. It said 37.3 million people, or 11.3% of the US population, have diabetes. Wow. Just think about that. 28 million of the population, which is 28% of the population, had diagnosed diabetes. And here's another one. Approximately 8.5 million people have diabetes, but have not yet been diagnosed. Well, what does this tell you? This tells you that really things such as diabetes and even a lot of other things, whether you're talking about heart situations, immune system problems, Alzheimer's, arthritis, everything is on the increase. And so when you come on here today, it's amazing how very few people come on here and actually learn about alternative that's absolutely changing people's lives. Now, let me tell you how fortunate you are to be on this call. I'm a CPR instructor. And did you realize that only 7% of people know CPR? But CPR is very inexpensive to learn, and perhaps during a crucial time with a family member that need that assistance, most people don't even know it. Well, there's a case of tonight. People don't realize that there are things out here that can really help them when it comes to certain sicknesses that have a natural way of actually assisting. It may help. Well, in this case, it's having phenomenal success as far as the experiences are concerned. Well, tonight, you're one of the few people out of all the people in the United States that know about one of the most incredible products that have hit the market. Matter of fact, there's few of them, but it's really just turning lives around. And we wish we could just deal with them all tonight. But what they've done on Sunday night, and mark this in your calendar, every Sunday night at 5 o'clock, you should have everybody on here you can to learn about some of these things that people are going through, this devastating families, and actually learn about an all-natural product that's changing people's lives. And tonight we're going to learn about one of those products, maybe some of those products that's actually helping people when it comes to these sicknesses. So once again, can you win with diabetes? Well, tonight you're going to hear some interesting information. Jonathan Jones is going to be our moderator. We're excited to hear from him. Dr. Prasad is going to be on. I have no doubt we're going to hear some experiences and things. Let's give them our attention for the next 55 minutes or so. Do not leave this computer. Listen to this all the way to the end. Perhaps out of all the hours of the week, this is going to be the most important hour that may actually help you or your family save a life. So please give our attention, our hands together, and let's welcome Jonathan Jones and Dr. Prasad as they present You Can Win with Diabetes. Jonathan, you have the lectern.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Wonderful, wonderful introduction. Thanks for setting the whole program up for us. We're always excited to see how many people take time out of their busy schedule to come to a presentation like this. So what you said is right on point, Bernard. We really can't help but just commend everyone who made it here this evening. If you know somebody that should be here, you might want to go ahead and give them a call and get them lined up to come and enjoy this program tonight, because Dr. Prasad is going to give us some new information present us with some of his most recent research. And believe me, there's new research out there. Diabetes is not taking a break. It has decided to, instead of get better under control, it's advancing more and more. And it's a horrible reality that we live in today. In fact, one statistic that Bernard did not mention was that they're saying that by the year 2050, they're expecting the number of people worldwide to be somewhere in the area of 1.2 billion people. It's already at 529 million. So they're expecting to get a 1.2 billion people. That's the projection. That's the trajectory that the planet is on right now. It's every country. So it's not just a United States problem. It's it's most of the advanced countries. Some of the places where you have, westernized food. That's where everything starts to go haywire. But a couple of things that we want to do, some housekeeping before we get started. As Bernard mentioned, my name is Jonathan Jones, and today is July the 9th, 2023. July the 9th, 2023. And the theme that we're broaching, as you can see, is how to win with diabetes. Now, please keep in mind, folks, that as we talk about a subject like this, people often think that we're trying to make a claim that, engaged global products will treat or cure disease. And please understand that we're not. We're not. We're basically trying to tell people what they can do. Look at the picture. There's certain lifestyle changes that a person can make. And Dr. Prasad is going to tell us a lot about those things. Nutrients that you can add to your diet that will make a difference. We're only talking about food. So nothing here that we talk about is medicine. So please keep that in mind. We're not talking about medicine at all. So, but before I introduce Dr. Prasad, there's a story that I think it might be good to share with you folks. Now, some of you may have heard this before, and but this meeting is for those who have never heard any of these presentations. So, and we know that there are a lot of folks who are on here right now that have never been exposed to any other presentations, don't have any idea of what people are saying is happening to their health. So give me just a minute here. And this gentleman that you're going to hear this time right now, his name is David Bonus, I believe. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to pronounce it, but that's the way it looks like to me. Now, when he describes his problem is not, he's not just talking about diabetes, although he does say he has it. He talks about all kinds of issues that he has struggled with in his life. And again, please keep in mind, testimonials are purely anecdotal. None of the statements that we're making right now has been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are anecdotal. Can't say that enough. Testimonials are anecdotal. Results are atypical. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So Engage makes no claims that MicroDaily or any of the Engage global products will treat or cure any disease state. So please understand that that's not what we're saying here. But we are going to share with you what David Bonus shared with us. He just told the story, and so we're passing it on to you and giving you an opportunity to draw a conclusion as to whether or not you think there's a possibility that a food can make a difference in
here
your
on the
particular
side of
life.
my temple, where they had to remove a very aggressive skin cancer known as squamous cell carcinoma. And I noticed I had 3 more moles coming up, like a feeder that maybe they had missed. And so, being the good person that Alfreda is, she didn't tell me about it. She came to my home and started telling me all about this MicroDaily. And I did what she said. Started taking triple doses of the. Matter of fact, I just made me one. Very simple to use. It's like Crystal Light. And I was drinking 3 of those a day and doubling up on the MicroDaily Hydro. And I did that for a little over a month. I had high blood pressure problems. I was able to reconnect with my original doctor. He had all my previous testing and pallets from all the different blood tests, etc. Well, the high blood pressure had already damaged my kidneys. And I went to a different doctor, and she wanted me to do, because of my age, she wanted me to do everything from a colonoscopy to you name it. I said, I'm not doing that. So he said, no, I understand where you're coming from. Let's just start with the blood test and we'll go from there. Your blood pressure medicine's not working. You're 200 over 140. And close to having a stroke, I assume. That's what I've been told. And so he increased the amount of losartan that he was giving me. He said, I want to see you in about a month. And so in that month, I'd been taking micro daily, the regimen that I described. And I had to go to a lab where they took the blood tests, and they did from A to Z all the different things between diabetes and my kidneys and the high blood pressure and yada, yada, yada. Prostate. When I came back to see him, he says, David, I don't know what you're doing, but your prostate, you're in the 1% or less that'll never get prostate cancer. Because I can't detect any more damage on your kidneys. Your high blood pressure is at 130 over 80. Diabetes, you're never going to have it. Your whatever they measure,
A1C.
A1C, it's off the chart good. It's 5.3.
Wow.
Yes, it was close to maybe a 10.
Yeah.
And in 5 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You called me.
The 3 lesions from the cancer that had come back had fallen off.
Wow.
Right.
He says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep on doing it.
Wow. Wow. Well, I just thought that maybe that would lay the foundation for our discussion here, folks. And again, please keep in mind, testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. But David Bonus, if I let the whole recording play, you'd hear him go on to describe some things that, quite frankly, are just hard to believe. Things with his daughter, his own situation, and so on. And he said, one statement that he made I thought was kind of interesting was he said, I took this as a supplement. He said, I just really didn't expect that it was going to do what it did. But he said, it made a big difference for him. So he said he thought it was just going to supplement. And mind you, he kept trying to emphasize that in his mind, according to the doctor, nothing was really making a difference for him. So let's get some comments from Dr. Prasad, and then later in our discussion, maybe we'll be able to share one more testimonial with you, because David Bonus kept talking about micro daily, and so he mentioned micro daily. He mentioned it a couple of times. Well, it's Dr. Prasad who was the formulator of this micro daily. Originally, it was called MMF, Military Micronutrient Formula, but let's let Dr. Prasad tell you some about what his formula is designed to do. Dr. Prasad was professor of the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years, as you can see. He was a member of the Royal Society of Medicine in London, UK, member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee and candidates of medicine. So that by itself really just kind of trumps everything, in my opinion, on this entire screen, because they just don't invite anyone to that committee. But he was the world's first radiation biology PhD, so he knows quite a bit about radiation and its impact on health. His products so far have been awarded some 7 U.S. Patents on micronutrients. He's the gentleman who discovered the anti-cancer potency of vitamin E succinate. Now, if you're saying to yourself, sucks a what? That's what I said. I didn't know there was a vitamin E succinate. I didn't know there was more than one type, but Dr. Prasad did. And not only did he know that there was more than one type of vitamin E, he figured out the one that, oh, by the way, also takes care of or has an impact on cancer cells. That's published information, by the way. He discovered that butyric acid, small fatty acid formed by the fermentation of fiber in the gut, has anti-cancer properties to it as well. He's the author of some 32 books. His 33rd is already in production. And I suspect he's got 34, number 34 up his sleeve at 88 years of age. So it's just nothing short of miraculous what we're experiencing here to have access to this man. He's been published more than 250 times in peer review publication. This is just a snapshot of some of his books. I'd like for you to take a screenshot of this if you can, please, because everyone needs to go to Amazon and grab that book on dementia and memory loss. It's an educational book that's written for the public, and it provides easy to follow guidelines on how to avoid the risk of memory loss. And I always tell folks you might want to go grab that before you forget, and the pun is very much intended. But the book also provides recent scientific information on how to reduce the risk of memory loss and how to improve current drug treatment with the help of micronutrients. That QR code will take you straight there. But while you're there, go ahead and grab that cancer book. While you're there, it's only $12, but the amount of information in there is voluminous and absolutely priceless. So it's my pleasure, my privilege to invite Dr. Prasad to our discussion at this time and to welcome him. Dr. Prasad, not enough can be said, sir.
Thank you.
In appreciation for what you do and what you bring to the table in our discussion. So thank you very much for joining us. And there's Dr. Prasad. I can't see him, but there we go. Let's add Dr. Prasad to the spotlight and we'll stop our share. So Dr. Prasad, our discussion here, how to win with diabetes. And again, welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. I always enjoy here with you and your colleagues and all the participants.
Yeah, folks seem to come from all over the place, you know. And
but that was interesting story. You said, he has a diverse type of disease. On one side, he has what looked like a squamous cell carcinoma.
That's what the doctor said it was.
And on the other side, he has a diabetic-related, all those complications.
Kidney, prostate, and everything else.
Yeah.
High blood pressure.
And so here the high dose, they work by different mechanism in case of potential cancer agent, and in diabetes, they work by different mechanism. The high, since he was taking a little higher dose, not too high dose, but medium high dose, I would say. And as you know that they are very selective, high dose antioxidant kill cancer cell, not the normal cell. So while you are taking it, if cancer cell is dead, they will fall off. I mean, there's no way. And as we have seen, if the cancer cell is dying, then they will fall up, and that's what happened to him.
So what he's described is not a surprise to you at all, then?
No. Because the reason the cancer cell dies, because they require two nutrients, glucose and glutamine, for survival. Without that, they cannot survive. Normal cell don't have that mechanism of generating energy, but they must have these two molecules to generate energy to survive and proliferate. And so if you block them, this is what antioxidant does, high dose. If you block them, they die of starvation.
Okay.
And so in this case, they die of starvation, and when they are dead, they fall out. So that's one mechanism by which he was that was working in his case, both in case of prostate and in case of squamous cell carcinoma. And then when you come to diabetes type related issue, there is totally different mechanism. Their mechanism is that increase oxidative stress or production of free radicals and increase chronic inflammation contributes to the initiation or development of diabetes type 2. These two are they do it. But the micronutrient, the way he was taking it, was, especially now once you have hydro, that rapidly absorbed, and therefore you see rapid effects. and then they decreases both oxidative stress and chronic inflammation at the same time. And so this is very important because you see how glucose, first you have to know how it does it, how the glucose is transported from from your blood to your cell. Well, there is a very interesting mechanism. For that, you must pancreas in your body. Pancreas is located close to the stomach. They must produce insulin in type 2 diabetes. And then insulin goes to cell that is interested in, or almost all cells have insulin receptor. Then what it does, insulin receptor binds with the receptor and activates some additional pathway, and that brings the glucose transporter protein, which is in the cytoplasm, to the membrane of the cell. And then that allows the transport of glucose inside the cell. So until your insulin receptor is healthy, you cannot transport glucose from the blood to the tissue or cells that your body have it. And so what oxidative stress and chronic inflammation does, it damages the insulin receptor. So now your body is producing pancreas, but since receptor is damaged, they cannot transport, the glucose cannot enter into the cell because glucose transporter protein is lying in this cytoplasm idle and cannot be brought back to the surface where they said, okay, you can come in now, almost like a gatekeeper. And so, but what microdaily does it, that, it prevents the damage to the insulin receptor, and therefore it can work and function, and then glucose get transported. Yeah, this is a good one. You can see the insulin receptor there, and glucose transporter protein 4, especially that number of glucose transporter protein, but it is, in this case, 4 is very important. And then normally they are lying in the cytoplasm inactive, but when they get stimulated by the insulin receptor, then they get transported. They go to the cell surface. You can see that, and then you can see that they almost act like a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Until glucose transporter protein is there on a cell, glucose cannot enter to the cell. But once they are there, then they said, okay, you can come in, and then glucose is used for generating energy as you know it.
This is pretty remarkable, Dr. Prasad. So
yeah.
If I understood you correctly, and I've heard you describe this a number of times, but for the benefit of our audience here, that insulin receptor is on every one of our cells. So you're saying that if that's oxidized, that insulin does not fit in there properly like we're looking at on the screen?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So the reason why it can work to some degree is that it looks to me like there's more than one insulin receptor on our cells. So if we have multiple insulin receptors, some of them can be oxidized and some of them can be okay.
Some of them, some of them could be okay. Then you get a small amount get transported.
But it's insufficient glucose is making it to the cells, and that's what can create the problem. Yeah,
then this is slowly. And once they get fully oxidized, then you have full-fledged diabetes. Then now it can't.
So what happened with David Bonus, Dr. Prasad? This man said he went from
what happened?
A1C in the 10s down to 5.3?
Yeah, the reason is because glucose is being transported very rapidly, because these receptors get damaged, but the new receptors are formed. So if you don't have a antioxidant there, then they will continue to be damaged, so nothing will improve.
I see.
But once the new form and your body has an antioxidant, and now you have new insulin receptor, they get protected.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
So
And
in his case, the glucose was building up on his red blood cells. Is that what causes A1C to go up?
That's right, because it was not being transported.
Oh, I see. Okay, so all this glucose is still sitting out there. Let's see if there's a slide here for that.
Yeah, and so, and not only that, but once it is high level of A1C, And as you know, that they binds with the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the one who sends oxygen to all your cells, body. And so now you becomes tired easily because glucose, the hemoglobin is not free to carry the oxygen. And so that's a lot of indirect, consequences, adverse consequences of your health.
So
In other words, if you have a high level of the A1C, then your oxygen cannot be transported by hemoglobin, because red blood cell is responsible for transporting it, and hemoglobin protein is the part of the cell where oxygen binds and delivers it to the, if it is free. But if it is already bound with the oxygen, then they cannot travel. It becomes a problem
okay.
carrying the oxygen.
So then would that have contributed to his high blood pressure and the other issues?
Many things, because then, our tiredness, easy tiredness, you get sleepy, because your brain is not getting enough oxygen to function.
I got you. So yeah, he was in bad shape. And
Yeah.
And
It was good that, once the receptor get newly formed protected by taking this micronutrient, then glucose get transported. So now there is no problem that once the glucose get transported, they get detached, which is already in a hemoglobin and ready to go.
That's beautiful. So you have, is this all information that's in your new published papers?
No, but here not only micronutrient alone is not sufficient, because it will do some good, like in his case it did it, but this is acute case, you don't know how long the efficiency will last. But also, I don't know, was he taking any probiotics, for example? Probiotics is absolutely essential for anyone who is older than 40. And as I have mentioned earlier, that some 2,500 years ago, the father of the medicine, Hippocrates, made a statement that all the disease begins in the gut, in the intestine. So it is very important to maintain healthy one. And so in a diabetes case, in Alzheimer's case, in any chronic diseases, or even if you don't have a disease, but you are getting older, the intestinal dysbiosis occurs. What is intestinal dysbiosis? It is the proportion of the harmful bacteria increases in your intestine over the beneficial bacteria. That is called intestinal biosis. And when that happens, your intestine, these bacteria started producing a lot of toxic chemicals like pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are very damaging to all your organs. And so it is very important. So how you reverse it? Restore the balance in favor of beneficial bacteria. One and only way you can do it, taking a probiotics with prebiotics, because prebiotics is a food for beneficial bacteria. Without that, they cannot generate many useful molecules like vitamin K, B vitamins, short chain fatty acid like butyric acid, which is very important. And so that's why that in addition to take micro daily, we also suggest that you take from prevention point of view, you take a micro daily EMF as well. We also recommend for diabetes people, especially when they are early phase, is these collagen peptides. Why? Because in case of diabetes, early phase, late phase become more complex, that the pancreas produces insulin, but it cannot be secreted to the blood. It cannot be secreted. It can't send to blood. Why? Because there is an enzyme called incretin enzymes that destroy interfere or prevents the secretions of insulin from the pancreas to the blood.
Wow.
This particular enzyme, and this enzyme is generated in the intestine. This is normally it happens, but a small amount. But when diabetes occurs, this enzyme activity increases, and therefore it prevents the secretion of the sending the insulin from pancreas to the blood. So what the collagen peptide does, it acts as an inhibitor of this enzyme called DPP4, and it has no toxicity. Currently, there is a prescription drug which also inhibits this enzyme called DPP4 right here, insulin. Yeah, dipeptide. I always call DPP4. Tough for me to pronounce this. So it is act as a day, but it has no toxicity. And the prescription drug has certain amount of toxicity. So this is very important to remember. The combination of these three is extremely important, not one approach. But this is the first time anybody has approached a multiple approach to take care of the diabetes, and we can win it. Because, sometimes myself, in early phase, they said, well, microdaily EMF is enough. But it did its job, microdaily, like you were saying. Right. But later on, as I become aware of, did more research, then I found out, no, that is okay. But also it can improve much more. For example, in advanced cases of diabetes, some people who have either, as you know, the both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. For example, these approaches would be very good for prevention and reducing the progression of type 2 diabetes. But since type 1 diabetes does not depend upon pancreas, because pancreas is destroyed, but still you have disease because they can't produce insulin. So you can't treat with this kind of medication, oral medication. And that's why in type 1 diabetes, they give insulin, because their oral drug is mostly related to insulin secretion. But if your pancreas is not secreting insulin is the only way out. But even that cases, if you combine with our approach that I'm saying, multiple approach, micronutrient, probiotics, and collagen peptide, even the patient becomes resistant to insulin. So if you combine them both, then it might be very useful and prevent the progression of the even type diabetes 1. So you don't develop complication, because even at the stage where you are developing a complication, if you take this approach, then you can prevent the development for actual, a complication, which is diabetic-related eye damage, kidney damage, and nervous tissue, peripheral neuropathy. And so these kind of things, it can help at any stage if you take this thing. But only one thing you have to be careful. If you are taking multiple drugs for, say, type 2, and you added our approach of micronutrient, collagen peptide, and probiotics, you might drop very low level of the
glucose,
fasting glucose, and that's called hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia.
Yeah.
And you have your level 70 or less. That is defined. Fasting glucose level is 70 milligram or less. Then it's defined a hypoglycemia. And if you have a hypoglycemia, there is a danger you might faint. And so as soon as you drop that, you must consult your doctor, and he will recommend it that a drop one of the medication or reduce the medication and take immediately some ice cream or something to raise your glucose
levels.
Yeah. But raising glucose without reducing the medication won't be good. So doctor, I'm sure that doctor will, in many cases, our consumers have reported, our friends have reported that doctors start reducing the dose that they are giving it, whether it's insulin in case of diabetes or oral medication.
Right.
And there are 6 different types of oral medication, which affects different pathway of glucose so that glucose is not produced. And so, but once you start with metformin, this is the initial drug. But the patient, if you don't do anything, it becomes resistant. So then another class of drug they will add. They become, there are 6 different classification of drug.
Wow.
But the thing is that they work for a while. Your glucose will be little down, but never does it. And there has been one clinical study that you must know it. And it was a double-blind placebo-controlled trial was there, that a patient with type 2 diabetes taking a 4 or 5 drug medication, and in spite of taking those drug medication, and this was not one patient, there were several cases, clinical trial, you have to have at least 30, 40 patients. And so that they were all taking some kind of oral medication. So it was a 3-month study, and here it is. Double-blind placebo-controlled trial. You can see the fasting glucose and drug group was 125 milligram. But once you added a collagen peptide alone, they didn't even have that. It dropped to 105 milligram.
Wow.
A1C was 6, it drops to 5 because of collagen peptides. Because collagen peptide acts as an inhibitor of the enzyme DPP4.
Right.
You can see that they were working by different mechanism. Even insulin resistance dropped from 6 to 5. So it is amazing. This was unknown. And that's why I think the multiple approach that we have proposed, combination at the same time, micronutrient, probiotics, and collagen peptide would be unique in prevention and in improving the effectiveness of medication. So it is not only very useful for preventing the disease, but it is also going to be useful for reducing the progression of the disease, so you don't develop any kind of the diabetic-related complication, which is terrible.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, Dr. Prasad, that's the reason I take it. I don't take it to fight, diabetes, but I don't want to get it because
I do too.
I lost my mother because of the complications of diabetes. My father-in-law, the same. So I'm 100% in agreement with you on that one. Now, do you mind if we share one more testimonial here?
No, that's fine. But even in my case, at the age of mine, which everybody knows is 88 plus, and I don't have any symptoms of diabetes at all.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so I'm no on diabetic any kind of, and so you can see that much people, and I misuse it myself, in terms of diet. I take some Indian sugar, sweets. Those are some of the things. That's why I said, even though I say you don't do it, but myself, I can't control it. But anyway, so when I try to reduce it, I have reduced markedly. That's what I can. That's it. But whenever I go to Indian shop, I get tempted to buy it. Then I said, don't buy it today. Next week I will buy it.
Well, that's a fine thing. So, but Jeff has a testimonial that he's going to share with us that illustrates the value of adding micronutrients to the diet. Now
diet also is very important, but try to do as much as possible, like I do.
That's a critical thing. And there's so many other things that can be done, but Jeff, whichever if you can share that story, Jeff, whatever you got there is going to be just fine. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let me give you just a little bit of background on this. This is a couple of good friends of ours, Art and Carol Letke, and Art and Carol were one of the first people to say yes to us. And many of you are familiar with Coraline Chavez, one of our soon-to-be ambassadors. Had Art and Carol not said yes and started experiencing the products themselves and shared it with others, none of Coraline's team would be here. So I think it is significant. You know, Jonathan, as comfortable as you and Dr. Prasad are, and the way that the slides came in and backed up the concepts that Dr. Prasad was trying, I should say Professor Prasad tonight was trying to share with us. It's just amazing how deep, but really when it comes down to it, it's, do we care about somebody else? Do we want to share with them these incredible things? And so I'm just going to, many of you have seen this video, but I think it's important that we all realize that a lot of times, and notice this in Carol's explanation, she talks about all of her family having diabetes. And so here we go with Art and Carol Letke.
My name is Arthur Letke. This is my wife, Carol, and we're both diabetic and have had amazing results. Our blood sugars went down over 30 points. My neuropathy in my feet was gone in about 10 days and just felt incredible. The energy levels, everything just went up. I'm going to let Carol share her experiences with the Micro Daily with her.
Yes, and once again, my name is Carol, and I have 9 brothers and sisters that all have, basically most of them have type 2 diabetes. And my first experience was just so awesome that I couldn't ignore what was going on. My neuropathy had really been bothering me for years. And when I started taking the product, Micro Daily, I took the capsules in the beginning. My neuropathy, I can honestly say within 2 weeks, my feet were not hurting me anymore. And I got so excited. And we hooked up with our great upline, Jeff and Helen Ashby, and we traveled with them a lot. And every day, Art and I would say, we're not going to go a day without taking Micro Daily. And we did, and we were faithful, and we will always be faithful. Art just turned 72, and I'm turning 70 in 6 days. And we actually have more energy than what we did years ago before we got on this. And I really noticed it when I went to a family wedding last month, and there was a DJ there, and I danced straight for 3 hours. I was not tired. I have noticed a real boost in my energy and in Arthur's energy. And we are getting proactive in a lot of different avenues in our life. And I'm just going, what? What are we going to be like when we turn 75, Art? So this works. We love it. And we love sharing it. And people that just don't give it the chance that they should, we get really frustrated, but we just say, you know what? It's their choice. We always say you can't lead a horse to water. You know?
No, you can lead a horse.
Oh, you can lead a horse. I get things
but
backwards.
you can't make it drink.
You can't make it drink. So this is my testimony, and my testimony of this company, and my testimony is real. It's the truth. And we welcome anybody that is wanting to make a life change. Give it a chance. It's real. It's truth. Thank you.
It works.
Fun to be able to share that, Jonathan. Thank you for the opportunity. You bet.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing that one. Powerful addition to our discussion. So I don't know, Dr. Prasad, if I was in the same position that you are, Professor Prasad, that would just bring a tear to my eye, knowing that people's lives have been impacted in that way.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for all you do, because that's my personal mission in life, is to get as many people who have that dreaded condition in their body a way to make an adjustment, and you've done that for us. So.
And I'm always available for you, Jonathan, and for your people and all the participants who are here. And so anytime anybody has a question, they can send a question to you or to the main office, and I get them and I answer them quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So could you go ahead and relate here? This is your recommendation that we put together
Yeah,
on the slide
yeah.
number 4.
Yeah, I think it is. For example, not only type 2 diabetes, which is a prevention and improved treatment, but also progression of type 1 diabetes, which is the same. Micro daily EMF in combination with probiotics and prebiotics could be useful in the prevention of diabetes type 2. Micro daily EMF in combination with collagen peptide, probiotics, and prebiotics could improve the effectiveness of drug in reducing the progression of diabetes and diabetic-related complication in diabetes type 2 as well as type 1.
Well, that's a mouthful there, and we can't thank you enough for sharing that. So listen, folks, there is a bundle that we recommend. The price is a little bit different. I'm sorry this slide hasn't been updated, but the price has actually gone down a little bit by about $20. But just talk to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they'll help you get Dr. Prasad's Choice bundle. You want to get that bundle if at all possible. And again, for any who came in late, take a screenshot of this slide, please. And you might want to go to Amazon and grab these 2 books that Dr. Prasad wrote. The one there on memory loss before you forget, pun intended. The QR code will take you straight to it. And then the one on cancer, as long as you're there, and you'll get just a glimpse into this man's brilliance and genius when it comes to nutrition having an impact on our lives in real terms. So get back with the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will help you to get access to any of these bundles. We're going to take a couple minutes to take some of your questions, but if you want to take a screenshot of this calendar of events for the month of July, it gives you some idea of all the events where Dr. Prasad is involved and what Engage Global is doing to make sure that the word gets out about these products. You notice that next Sunday, there a couple of these have changed. There's some updates on this because Dr. Prasad is going to be away on a couple of these weekends. But next week, we're going to be talking about a healthy heart. The weekend after that, Jeff is going to spearhead a discussion about the gut and the brain. So you can look forward to that. But at the end of the month, Dr. Prasad is back with us. Dr. Prasad, we're going to do a major drill down on collagen. I think,
yes, and
I can't wait to hear more. You just teased us a little bit about that DPP4 and its effect, on the body. But on the 30th of the month, we're going to really just kind of blow that out. So we look forward to that. So, but next week, folks, remember, we're talking about the heart next week. So any who can make it to that discussion, we're going to be discussing the heart. So let's take a couple of questions. Sharon Robinson has a question.
Sure.
So go ahead, Sharon.
I'm going to ask, okay, with the 3 combination that is used to help with diabetes, suppose you take like the collagen late at night or before you go to bed, but you do the micro daily and the probiotic. So do you have to take all of these at one time to get the benefit, or
no,
will you
doesn't make difference. Doesn't make difference. Whenever you can
spread it out.
Spread it out. I take collagen daytime, but again, it is not important when you take it and how you take it. It is important that you have it.
Right,
I take just for information's sake, I take the collagen peptide in the morning, and my reason for doing that is because caffeine tends to act as a stimulant for me. And even though it's a tiny bit of caffeine from the white tea, it does have an effect on me. So I take it in the morning because it gives me even more alertness during the day. So and I don't take it in the evening just because even a little bit of caffeine for me has an effect on me. So it's just a very small amount, but that's the reason why I take it in the morning.
That's okay. Yeah. No, but whatever prefer people, but there is no advantage or disadvantage until you made some specific case. You can take any time you want.
Very good.
But as long as you take micro daily twice a day, morning and evening, that's all.
Morning and evening, absolutely. Yeah. Twice a day for micro daily, morning and evening. Right. Gretchen Daniels has a question.
Okay, so I have breast cancer and I have had the operation and I've started taking the micro daily because one of my friends actually gave me a bottle, and they're saying that they want me to take radiation, but I'm attempting to do as much as I can to avoid that. I wanted to get his thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, but first, if you have a breast cancer, then you have to have a therapeutic dose, not a preventive dose of micro daily EMF, like, hydro, for example, you can take it. And for example, hydro would be a preventive, therapeutic dose will be 2 in the morning, 2 in noontime, and 2 in the evening. But despite that, when you go to your doctor and he says, yeah, you need a radiation therapy, there is nothing wrong with that. Because if anything, it will further enhance the effect of radiation and tumor cell. But at least for a month, you can try like this. And then when you go to the doctor and he said, yeah, maybe you don't need a radiation therapy or you need a radiation therapy, then you go through the radiation therapy and it will protect your normal tissue and you will be okay.
Okay, thank you. Could I get the so what exact package would I need for me?
Well, that again is where whoever invited you, they can help you to identify that. Now, yeah, in your case, Dr. Prasad is highly recommending the micro daily EMF. So you might want to, get as much
Hydro.
of it as you can, the micro daily EMF hydro.
Yeah, hydro, yeah.
Because it's just more powerful. So you want to focus on that. And of course, you also want to focus on the probiotic. And you
Yes,
also
probiotics, yeah. No, but if she has a cancer, you don't have to have a collagen peptide. At least you should have a therapeutic dose of micro daily hydro, 2 in the morning, 2 noontime, and 2 in the evening, and probiotics.
And
one
probiotics.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay,
Thank you for your question.
And yeah, go ahead.
Last question now, Lily Hambrick.
Does it help your vision and your memory loss?
Very good question. So she wants to know, does it help with vision and memory loss, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah, then you take as I said, that you can take a micro daily hydro, for example, also take a eye boost and brain boost, and you try for and probiotics, of course, and then you try for 3 months and let us know next time we meet how you feel.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you for your question there. That was our last question, but we got Mary Snowden. Go ahead, Mary. We'll take yours as the last question.
Yes, okay.
I had a breast cancer about 20 some years. And I was been up on the herb doctor practically all my life, practically. And he had treated me for the breast cancer. And I was taking immune food, seed former, and butter root, and right now I'm taking a blood biller. Do I need to stop taking all of that?
No. I mean, I don't know what immune function, what you take for immune thing, but blood thinner is for cardiac function, for heart. If you have a heart problem, then they recommend generally blood thinner. But no, I would say that whatever you are taking medications, just use the for you micro daily hydro preventive dose and also probiotics. And if you have a eye problem, then you take eye boost. If you don't take it. Eye boost. If you have a brain some function problem, then you take brain boost. If you don't, then you don't take it. But at least for the time being, at least 2 components you must have is the micro daily EMF hydro and the probiotics that we have.
Okay, thank you. So I just got on the last one. And since I've been taking it for a couple of days, I've been feeling much better too.
Yeah, and then let us know how you feel, because it would not interfere any medication that you are taking. So
Okay,
Very
thank you.
good, very good.
Thanks.
So there you have it, folks. We're going to break off now, but just before we leave, we want to share something with you. We're going to say goodbye to Dr. Prasad at this point, but we want to introduce a video that we want to share with everyone before everyone leaves. So let's go ahead and give everybody a chance to say goodbye to Dr. Prasad, and then just stick around. There's 3 minutes for this video, and then for any who are interested, Bernard is going to be available to answer questions about the business. So Dr. Prasad, thank you very much again.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Jonathan. Prasad.
Appreciate you, Dr. Prasad.
Appreciate
Brother
it.
Jonathan.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Prasad.
Prasad.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff, Jenks, Jonathan, Bernard. Thank you.
That's just, I'll tell you folks, when when
Thank
you
you,
hear
Rob.
this kind of information that comes out of Professor Prasad, it's just mind-numbing is all we can say. But give us just 2 minutes here. It's actually a 3-minute video. And the reason we want to share this video with you for those who are considering anything to do with the opportunity is so you can kind of understand what's connected to Engage Global. And so we'll transition into this video real brief, and everyone can stay for this. And anyone after that who wants to stick around to discuss the opportunity further, you can ask your questions to Bernardine. So let me just play this video for you. And by the way, tomorrow night, you want to make sure that you're on that special call tomorrow night, because especially anyone who's interested, who's an affiliate, anyone who's an affiliate, you want to be on the call tomorrow night, because an entire new recommended program is going to be rolled out and introduced. You'll get a chance to see not just this video, but the entire program that Engage is going to be recommending. Here we go.
At Engage, we're redefining an entire industry. We're connecting our mission to bring health and wellness to the world with the world's most scientifically validated micronutrients, and our vision of creating a first of its kind enhanced affiliate pay plan where 100% of our affiliates can win and make real money. Our affiliate plan rewards you for enrolling customers, and our team builder plan rewards you for building a team of affiliates. You can do one or both. It's up to you, and both reward you unlike any other pay plan in the world. This whole thing works thanks to our loyal monthly subscribers who find such great results. They stay with us for much longer than industry standard. Retention. 1 month average, 94%, with some months at 100%. 3 month average, 72%. 12-month average, 60%. This plan works so well, 45% of Engage affiliates make money within 90 days or less, compared to many companies where only 2 to 3% ever make any money, and 70% make zero. Here's how you make money with our enhanced affiliate pay plan. We pay 100% commissions on all enrollment orders with a subscription. Next, we've taken the guesswork out of success with our predictable pay plan. Predictable pay with Engage means you get paid on all your customers or team volume. Orders translate to volume, and that is how you get paid here at Engage. No levels, no MLM limitations and gotchas. We really pay on infinite volume, and it is paid on all orders in your organization. Every month, it's predictable. Build a customer network, and in addition to the all of it bonus, you'll make 10 to 30% customer monthly commissions on each customer order, depending on your rank. If you like to build and work with a team, we reward you for that in a way no other company offers. Build a team, and you'll make predictable team builder monthly commissions of $150,000 to $45,000 based on your team volume. You can also earn double bonuses each time you rank advanced during our double bonus periods. Keep an eye out for our special double bonus periods so that you can amplify your income. Are you tired of looking for something real? Find your home at Engage. Real products, real money, real goodness and hope. Contact the person who shared this with you to get started.
Hey, Jonathan, that was incredible. 3 minutes. That's a presentation there. This is Bernard Dean. And those of you that stayed on, right now we have 86 people, by the way. Wow, I do agree with you, Belinda. That is awesome. Anyone that just came for Dr. Prasad, thank you for coming. Our next 10 to 15 minutes is just going to be to bring some things together for you. And I want to welcome you to, in my opinion, the best products in the world, the best business in the world, the best opportunity in the world. And I'm going to actually be talking a little bit with Jeff. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to share a screen a little bit with you. You don't mind? It's going to be, and I'm not going to go through a bunch of slides because I believe that what we just saw was one of the best business presentations that I've ever seen. But just to tell you a little bit about me, and as you can see, I'm relaxed there at Stone Mountain. And let me do this if I can. I'm trying to get this out the way. I really don't want that. Okay, there it is. I minimize it. I love to see y'all, but I just want you to see. My name is Bernard Dean. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I've been a paramedic for about 28 years. I'm a retired firefighter. Since 1984, I've always believed in natural things. I've been in the industry actually since 1984. I've had my ups and downs like everyone here. There's been a number of you that's been through a lot of programs, and probably some of you that left and said, I'll never do this again. And I totally understand because I said the same thing. And as a result, there's something about people that's on here that keeps drawing us back. And I think now we live in a day and time that's going to be different. I'm going to be bringing on a person that's an ambassador too with the company. He's been with the company a long time. And we're going to kind of tag team and give you a realistic view of this business and opportunity. And we're going to give you a reality check because I believe people need to stop lying to people. And I think they need to know what the difference. Now, being good customers is one thing, but when you decide to do your business, it's going to be another. So again, I'm a paramedic. I actually retired from the Atlanta Fire Department back about 3.5 years ago. And one of the hardest things for me was to find out what did I want to do. Now, I got a hint about 12 years ago. I was with a company that dealt with just omega-3, one product, just with omega-3. And by the way, if I tell you a story, it's the real story. You're welcome to call me and you're welcome to do it. I have always documentation of what I talk about. But I've always been interested in, first of all, does a product work? There's a lot of people got out here, products that you don't know who made them. They put a hint of something in there. They claim it's the best product on the market. By the time you finish, you find that you've lost more money than you ever have, and the products don't work. And then you wind up quitting, and it breaks up friendships, break up family. And I've always been interested in products that did not do that. Well, in this case, I came across one of the best omega-3s in the world. And the results were within, and I tell you the truth, this is the first year that I dealt with this omega-3. I don't think I made $300 a month. I just worked with it. Someone taught me the basics. I stuck with it, used it, promoted it, used it, promoted it. And in the second year, I made a few thousand. And in the third year, I was able to make $24,000 to $27,000 a month because it was a product that actually worked for the people. So it wasn't anything with promoting money, it was promoting health. And the money seemed to be a byproduct of the actual company products and opportunity that I was working with. So I haven't done anything since that went away. It went on television, still on television, but I haven't worked with nothing since. So when I came across Engage Global, the timing was the big thing with me. And the timing was I was looking for something after COVID that would give me a reality with better health, a reality with a better opportunity, a reality with a better comp plan. And as a result, I came across Engage Global, and it changed my life. I've only been here since August, and it's been an interesting ride for me. And so I really appreciate this presentation. I'm gonna go on just a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about network marketing. All right, multi-level marketing is good, but I think this is more network marketing. There's not that many people make money in this industry. And the question I ask is why? Why is it that only 2 to 5% of the population was involved in this industry? And why is it that the average person put their heart and soul into promoting companies and products, but they only make $5,000 a year? And why is it that only 20 to 30% of the people are actually in this industry? And out of this, 70 to 80% lose money. And all of a sudden I realized that the majority of stuff out here is junk. But I've always been open to something that's a reality, something that was going to supply my personal needs. Well, the results, I came across this and I love the product so much. Someone introduced this product to me. And by the way, I am a CPR BLS instructor. And I'm not going to promote anything that doesn't work with people. I don't care if it's $1 million a month, I'm not going to do it. But when I came across this company and I saw the results of it, it absolutely blew me away. And all these things you're seeing on the screen, I wanted to find something that I don't go out here and lie to people. I hate people that lie to people and at the end say, oh, well, they made a few dollars and I lost money. Well, today you're going to hear some things, people, that's absolutely going to blow your mind. Jeff, are you on here right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, Jeff, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna go through all these slides. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna get this out the way so people can see. Right now, all of you would agree, especially since COVID gets ended, the health of people has been crashing. People are getting more dementia, crazy. I'm just amazed how many people, young people, are dropping dead. It's amazing how many people right now are experiencing the diabetes, the dementia, the cancer. And now I'm not saying that, and I think you need to highlight this point. We don't diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure anything out here, but it is natural things that have been proven to help people because it says facts tell, but stories sell. So in this case, the market, why is it a good time, Jeff? And we're going to make it an abbreviated thing. You notice it's 6:11. We're going to keep this within everyone's time constraints. Why is it now that Engage Global have come along with 10 products, and why is there a market for this product?
Well, Bernard, I don't know if you want to pull me up here. We'll go side by side with you.
Well, I tell you what, you have the host. Let's see.
Yeah, totally do, and so do you. So if you want to, you know what makes this an opportunity? I go back to your previous slide where you're talking about MLM. We are not an MLM because we don't pay on levels, and that's what I am super excited about. We pay on volume, and that was what was brought forward in that last video. And I really like how she ties a bow right there at the end of it. She says, "Real products, real pay, and real hope." And I really feel like that's what we are doing. That's what we're offering so many others. You can just hit stop share. There we go.
I just did it. Yeah. And so we can talk to people.
Perfect. So I'm here as the poster child for, you know what, this is an incredible opportunity. Being a micro daily millionaire, you know, that's proof positive that you get the right products. You get Dr. Prasad's understanding, he being the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation. You couple that with another juggernaut in his respective field, and that is David Nemelka, who has put together this compensation plan, this predictable pay. Actually, they have filed a patent, not on just all of the products, but on the pay plan. So nobody else can ever copy this because of the significance of where we're at. And once again, she did an incredible job in 2 minutes and 58 seconds right there at the end. Real products, real pay, and real hope.
And that was real. And you know what, Jeff, I remember back in the day, people used to turn their nose up at this industry and people used to have their opinions of it, but I think we live in a different time in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. And here's what I mean by everybody on here. I think everybody on here realizes that right now they need their own business, but the problem is most businesses, you invest a lot of money, perhaps even putting your house on the line, and they don't get any results. And as a result, at the end, they wound up almost being homeless. So now for the first time, I think people are taking a look at network marketing as being an alternative, because I tell you, something happened with the young people, and some of you with your young people realize this: retirement is gone. I'm going to say it again: retirement is gone. Nobody's really going to retire that's working today. So here is an opportunity that some people are saying, you know what, if I only had a chance to have my own business, I would do it. And now people have a business that run up under $150, but a lot of people don't take it that serious. So let me ask you, you got 73 people that's on here today asking, what is it that I can do that I can take my $50 and turn it into a decent income to pay some bills and perhaps have freedom of time to spend with my family and help them to actually get ahead in life. So give us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. And Bernard, I mean, I'm thinking back almost a year ago when we had the conversation. Jonathan got me on the phone with you, and you asked pretty much that very same question: why now? Why this? And why Jeff? And you know, in that answer, it was Dr. Prasad. Nobody else has the world's foremost expert on micronutrition and supplementation. Next to that, we've got a duplicatable model where you don't need to be the expert. In fact, if you are not the expert, if you can just direct people where to come, like on Sunday evenings, and plug into this information, we are just educating people. Once you educate somebody, they never need to be sold. They are now part of it, and it's going to be forever having changed their mind, because they're going to go out there and they're look at everything else that's out there on the market, and they're going to use Dr. Prasad's standard, that CQF. They're going to measure their products against what Dr. Prasad has produced, and there is no equal. So really, we're going out there with an unfair advantage. In fact, you were part of the calls that we had a week ago on Friday when Dr. Linda was on here talking about live blood analysis and the slides that are there. And the bow that she put on the end of her conversation is, she says, I want all of you to know that in the future, not too far into the future, you're going to be able to tell those that are on microdaily and those that are not on microdaily, just because of the way that they are. It's going to be that big of a difference. Are they on microdaily or are they not on microdaily? And so with that unfair advantage, why don't you go out there and couple that with predictable pay? And I'm telling you, we have had no other thing that I've done. And, you know, Bernard, you've got me by just 2 years. I started in 1985 in this industry. And so from 1985 until now, 10 years with this company, and I'm not going anywhere. The consistency, the people that we are attracting, just like yourself, it's going to be a year next month. And I see how you've just leaned into this. And I look at the number of individuals that are saying, if Bernard's going to do this, so am I. So,
you know, Jeff, I really appreciate the accolades, but to be honest with you, I have to say I have a great team. My team stays on me to make sure I keep up to par with what's going on. And when I say having a team, 2 or 3 people can actually be a team. And that's where everything starts. It's just like a forest fire. It doesn't start with you going gasoline. It starts with you just dropping a match. And so, and of course, Horace Darnell is one of the biggest, my hero, because he started out crying about his network. And then next thing I know, he's turned around, he's teaching me. So that was something huge with me. But you mentioned products, and I need everybody here to understand something. If you don't have a unique product, a consumable product, something that stands out from everything else, you're doomed, you're torpedoed before you even start. This is the first time, I think, in the industry that I've been here, that the other product with the omega-3, it took 3 to 4 weeks for it to work. But the people I put on it, about 70% are still on it after 13 to 15 years. I believe that this product is actually better than the one that I had back then. And then you have 10 products, like you mentioned that he mentioned that brain boost and probiotic and so on. So going with this product right now, and we got people on here for business, and I'm gonna be real with y'all for business. The majority of people on here talk too much when they first start out in this business and don't realize that all we are is in the business of promoting people to try something with the thought that you're going to get results. And now the hydro came out, and people are calling us back within 2 to 3 days. I make sure they get 3 days work, by the way. That's 6 packages. I bought a bunch of them, and I give them 6 packages along with instructions. And in 3 days, they call me back and always say, what is it? I don't even give them the 3 packages unless they agree that they're going to let me nurse them through 3 days. If they don't get that, they don't get my package. But they're calling me back, telling me how crazy this product is. So in about 2 to 3 minutes, let me know what is it about these products that make us outstanding from stuff you buy on store shelves, the stuff you buy with all, I'm not even mentioning the companies because I love all the companies, they big, but in my opinion, Engage Global stands out among them all. What is it about this product that stands out? Besides, by the way, Dr. Prasad, because I ain't never been on with somebody that wrote 30-something books and had 250 MedPub articles. Go ahead.
And I just love the approach that you're taking to this whole, Bernard. This is a hit it, get it, and quit it. People are here, they've invested their time. And so I want to be very aware of that. My background, my father used to own Industrial Container and Supply in Salt Lake City, and we provided the empty vitamin bottles to companies like Nature's Sunshine, Nature's All, Nature's Way, Sunrider, New Skin, USANA, Melaleuca, Zango, Zari, Zija. It's just, the list goes on and on and on. These are different, and we have the proof to be able to go in and talk about rabbit radiation models, to go be able to talk about the fruit fly. We're working with NASA. There is not another product out there that has this type of substance to it. So we're just unmatched. I don't go out and I don't ask any people to try this. I say, you got to experience this. You've truly got to experience this. And so it's an experience. It's not a try. We did it just last week with the guy who does our lawns. I mean, I went out and says, man, you got to experience this, Ted. This is absolutely amazing. We mixed it in some water. He takes it. And I'll tell you what, he called us and says, you know what? I want you to come to a little 4th of July celebration that we've got going on over at my house. He introduced us to 2 other couples that were friends of his. Because of his experience, he went out and says, I want them to experience it as well. He didn't say, I want them to try it. He says, can you give them some of that hydro stuff so they can experience it? Ted signed up last Friday. So within 4 days, wow, we've got somebody that is going out there and duplicating what we just did with him. Hey, can you have them experience it? And yeah, he's in. And we met yesterday with one of those couples, and they set up an opportunity for us to bring them on to a presentation like we have today, so that we don't have to be the experts. They don't need to know that we're the number one in the entire company. We just need to know where to direct them so that they can get their information. So there in about 3 minutes, I just told you.
You did. We only have, Jeff, about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. We have to be off here at 6:30. But let me just say, with everybody on here that's serious, and I have to say that's serious about business, because only 20% are really serious. There was an experience about a group that went over to a country by boat to actually fight. And they actually got to the shores and got off the boat, and the leader burned the boats. And everybody's sitting back saying, why did he burn the boats? They said, well, he explained to him. He said, look, he said, either we're going to defeat them or we're going to die. And I thought that was interesting, because it was a sign of commitment with that group. And I think this is the kind of business that if you're going to just play with it or piddle with it, it's better to just be it's better to be a customer. But if you're serious about this business, you need to learn the basics of dedication and commitment and act like it's your business. Everybody you work for had the same opportunity that you have now. They started their business, they went through that 2 to 5 years of actually getting it established, and then next thing you know, they hired you. So therefore, if you decide to do this business, you have to have that same mentality that to build this team, that to take this thing to the top for me, I got to have that 2 to 5 year mentality that I'm going to cry and die before I actually make it in this business. So I'm bringing it to this thing. There's a lot of meetings during the week. Let me be clear with everybody. Having all these meetings is not to make sure you be at every meeting. It's to give you an opportunity to actually attend and learn, and to invite your new people to learn also. It diminishes the opportunity that you have to spend a whole lot of time training. Your job is to take the calendar and let people know what's going to occur, take the science brochure, go through it with them to make sure they get what they need, and to take this thing to the top for you, and to help them to reach not your goals. Your goals don't mean anything to them. Whether they want to pay for maybe a house or a car, or whether they want financial independence, find out what they want and stop trying to get into what you want, and look out for the interests of other people. I have to say that. So in that regard, what word do you have for us when it comes to leadership? Because there's 71 people on here right now, and I truly believe most of these people on here, if not all of them, are potential leaders if they're not already. So you've come to the point where every day, you've been with this company for 10 years, 12, 11 years.
10 years.
And now you're making $1,000 a day with this company within 10 years. I don't think there's not too many on here that's doing that. If you're doing this, you're a CEO of someplace. But you're making $1,000 a day, but you had to start out just where all of us on here is. So give us a 2-minute explanation as to how we can get to the point. Most of us, $31,000 a month, I don't care about. Personally, you give me about 5 or 10, I'm good to go. So tell us how you got to where you are, and give these people a realistic goal to work for, to do what you've done.
Well, I don't believe in the 2 to 5 years plan. I taught that. It's all about how many people can you expose to this, and just share with them your experience. Your testimony is the most powerful piece of information that you hold near and dear. So you take the products yourself. I start out everybody as a customer. People have to beg me to be an affiliate. Start them out as a customer, just like I did with our yard guy. Ted was going to be our very best customer, and we had no idea that Ted was going to go out and invite us over to his 4th of July celebration. But he is so excited about that. We didn't have to try and convince him to do anything. And you can look at the ratio right now, Bernard, we're almost a 5-to-1 ratio of customers versus affiliates. So people are enjoying the benefits of these products, not expecting an income out of it. And that's because of the efficacy of these products. So we have an unfair advantage. We have products that are unmatched out there right now. I don't think it's a 2 to 5 year plan. We look at Miss Coraline Chavez. She had a $41 check last March a year ago, and now it's over $10,000 a month. Her next one is 15, and she's wanting that 20K a month, and it's been 13 months, 14 months. So there isn't this 2 to 5 years. We're demonstrating, even in your own situation, Bernard, you've come in, you've paid off cars, you've gotten, you've done some upgrades to your home, you've gone on 90-day trips to other countries, and we're all going to be down in Mexico together at our family vacation. And that's really the difference. This feels like a family. It doesn't feel like a business. And that's on purpose. We feel like, the Dr. Prasad has brought forward his empathy for all, his humility, and we're just following his example.
Jeff, I just want to thank you. We have 2 minutes. I just want to, first of all, thank you for your great leadership, as well as the legacy team. I have to say, legacy team, Jonathan developed this Sunday call for his team, and Jonathan was loving enough to share it with everybody. Because in my opinion, people, you're not in competition with no one but yourself. There's a whole, right now, there's under 5,000 people in this business. Matter of fact, there's only a couple of thousands probably even doing it and not doing it that well. So in my opinion, you need to become the leader you're looking for. You need to become the leader that you're looking for. So once you discover that, and once you get that mental change, start having your own team meetings. People, have your own team meetings, even if it's for 10 minutes with 2 people, do it. Remember, a forest fire starts with a spark.
Right.
And if you can remember that, you could do something incredible with your business. Go ahead, Jeff.
And invite us to those meetings. Set it up, lean into this.
Exactly.
Just like Jonathan has always done a once a week call, and he realized they needed more opportunities. And now we're doing other meetings, and we're invited in as the guests. And in that type of a situation, you're basically leveraging the relationship that you have with us, and we are edifying the relationship that you have with those people that have come onto your call. So spot on, Bernard. You've got it.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And Jeff, you know what? Since you are the man that have actually, you sparked all of us. Thank you so much for being the ambassador. It shows us it can be done. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the virtual lecture on to you. Take us home. And people, if you had questions, I may stand by for a minute. Yeah, but thank you all for staying for this. And let's go all out and let's make this thing a success for us. And may you and your families be seen with us on the beaches of the world. Jeff, back to you.
Let's do it. Thank you, Bernard, for inviting me on, asking me if I was going to stick around for this. And most definitely, if I can encourage any participation, it's bring yourselves, bring those others tonight. I mean, for tomorrow night, you're going to get to hear our new vice president of marketing. You're going to get to see the video, and you're going to get to see all of the support, the documentation. This company is reaching a whole nother level of professionalism. We're matching the efficacy of the products with an efficacy of a business. Anyway, this really is just gonna take a moment and mute those lines there quickly, because all of us are on here. Thank you for sticking around. We are a phone call away. You know how to get a hold of us, and that's through great leaders like Bernard. Take care, everybody.